Hello, my dudes. Welcome to the masterclass, the snowboard masterclass. I'm really excited to be doing this live in front of you. So if you have questions, definitely comment them on the side. And in this video, my goal is to give you a whole bunch of information that's going to be extremely useful to you. And that does include understanding a bit of the Tommy Bennett snowboard system. This is a system that I've created to help people become way more awesome at snowboarding. So in this live stream / this video, we're going to be discussing some of the pillars that you're going to be seeing here. Now, the Tommy Bennett snowboard system is something that I've created over the last 25 years of me coaching snowboarding in general, and working with thousands of people, whether it's online or, more importantly, in person. So for those that don't know, I'm a blown on snowboard coach. I've actually spent the last 18 years coaching snowboarding, and then I instructed as an instructor at Vail for 10 to 12 years. And I'm probably the only person in the existence of the certification process that has done Cert 1, Cert 2, and Cert 3 in 1 year. Now, for those that don't know, that's never been done. And in the division that I did that in, which is the instructor organization that I was part of, was the Rocky Mountain division. So there's like a whole instructor model in different regions and stuff. And some say that Colorado and the Rocky Mountain is one of the more tough regions. So I was able to get a whole bunch of knowledge, a whole bunch of nerd, and do a bunch of stuff that no one's ever done before, which is pretty exciting, pretty cool. And so that gives me a lot of experience and a lot of credibility to help teach you the best way possible. In addition, I do all the Instagram, the YouTube content, the TikTok stuff, so that I can help as many people as possible. But through the making thousands of videos at this point online, coaching thousands of people's, I've literally taught like 6-year-old kids how to snowboard the very first ever time to turn. I've also taught people that are 70 years old how to do turns. I've also taught 50-year-olds to do backflips, and 17-year-old kids to do double backflips and 1080s and 1260s and 1440s. So I've had a lot of coaching experience through a lot of different avenues. Now, with all that nerd, it does come back into what we have here, which it's on my nice little iPad. On this iPad, I've categorized the learning process that I find to be the most optimized for you, especially in an online setting, because the goal is to make you as awesome as possible. So with that, the plan in today is to go over some of the tips that are going to make the biggest impact in your snowboarding using the principles of the pillars that I have already established. And then we're going to try to make you as awesome as possible, because that is the absolute goal here. So definitely stick around. Definitely type in the chat if you have any questions. I'll be popping in and out. Plus, this is going to be a bit interactive kind of vibe thing. So I'm going to have some drawings. I'm going to have some real world visualization exercise type stuff that we're going to be able to do. So that is literally like the plan for today. So really excited, really stoked. Make sure you stick around, because we got a special bonus at the end, a special thing that I'm really excited to show you. That's going to happen here in a little bit. With that said, let's start off with understanding pillar number 1. Let's just go through the quick pillars, and then we'll go through, and I'm not going to do all the pillars. I'm going to save that for later. But we're going to go through like the most important thing, and that's going to be the stacked model. That's something that I've created. And within the stacked model, that's like our foundation, how to be as stacked and strong as possible so that you can maximize your performance, maximize performance, maximize balance, and reduce injury. That's going to be like part of pillar number 1. As a side note, number 2, after we understand that stuff, my system essentially goes into like understanding how you as a human body can move, manipulate, and alter what your snowboard does for a particular outcome. So that's really connecting the body and the board together. And then also understanding movements and how to master the mountain, and how we really take the body, the board, and connect it in relation to the mountain. A lot of people don't talk about things that we need to understand when it comes to the mountain, so that's part of this as well. And then the shred method, which is a way for us to practice I have used this with athletes and coaches and a bunch of people, so it's like how we actually practice it. Then you have the rider's edge assessment, is how I would actually assess myself when I'm riding. And then the last pillar would be stomp, which is the snowboard technique for optimized performance, and that's going to be getting into some really fun nerd stuff. But with that said, we are going to go over here and you get a little sneak peek of some of my BENETEK designs, but that's for another time. Let's go over here. Okay, so pillar number one is we really got to understand stance, right? So as you probably are well aware, I have some absolute beautiful handwriting. And what's up, everybody who's in the chat? I appreciate y'all like diving in, hopping in, and hanging out with me. So yeah, got any questions? Anything is confusing, I have you pulled up right here on my computer, so I literally see what you're saying, and I can help you out. And Nathan says, so you instructed? Yeah, I was an instructor on the ground, the front line, essentially as an instructor for 10 to 12 years. I did certifications. I taught beginner lessons, intermediate, advanced, adults, kids. I was a trainer at Vail, so I was leading training and certifications and park passes and all sorts of stuff. So I have a lot of experience on like being on the ground. A lot of people don't know that I literally was a snowboard instructor. I had so much experience. They just think, oh, cool, snowboard, like YouTube content, TikTok content. No, there's like, it's taken me like 28 years to get to where I am today. So there's a lot of history of me coaching, being a competitive athlete, that all contributes to me helping you become better, right? That's like the absolute goal of that. Okay, so when we break down the first pillar, now there's three big, let's dive into the nerd here. So pillar number one is we gotta understand, ooh, that's the wrong one. We gotta understand pillar number one is truly like the fundamentals, okay? The fundamentals is everything when it comes to snowboarding. The better you are in a fundamental standpoint, the better experience you're gonna have. Imagine you're on top of an Alaska resort, not even Alaska resort, let's say an Alaska backcountry, you just got dropped off by a helicopter. If you can turn your snowboard so flipping well, you're gonna be able to A, have a good time, B, be confident going into that terrain because it's steep and gnarly and you're like, it's mellow, right? Because the perception of your fundamentals is so there, the perception is so much easier, right? So having the right fundamentals is a really big deal. And they do say when it comes to like the wider a base of a pyramid is, the taller, let's see if we can do this. The wider the base, the more you can go vertical. Okay, that's in like a true pyramid. So if my base becomes wider, I can go taller. But if I get too tall with not a good base, guess what happens? You fall over, right? So that's not what we're looking for here. We're looking to become so fundamentally sound that we're incredible. Okay, now Tommy, okay, the big question is, that's a big ol' how. How do we accomplish this? Well, there's three big things that I want to be talking about within that. One is going to be, number one is our shoulders, okay? Now with our shoulders, I like to say our lead shoulder is pointed in the direction of intended travel, okay? So, for example, and we're gonna get into this, let me just swap this over. For example, if I'm trying to make a toe side turn, most beginners struggle with pointing their lead shoulder in the intended direction. My intention is to go that way. But a lot of people are in this position and they want to go this way. I'm a contradiction. I'm not working with my body to help the board to do what it needs to do, which is to ultimately go this direction. Now, obviously, if I were to go heel side, well, I'm already in an anticipatory position. My lead shoulder is ready to rock and roll that way. So my board is going to go that way. Pretty easy, right? But if I want to go to my toe side, I need my shoulder to point in the intended direction of travel. Okay, cool. So that's going to be number one. I want my shoulder, essentially want my shoulder to move in the direction that is intended, okay? I'm just swapping a screen over. Thank you, thank you. Okay, so that's going to be like number one is your shoulder is, I'm just messing with chat real quick, sorry. There we go. Okay, now we got chat pulled up. Okay, what's up? All right, here we go, Okay, so that's gonna be like the biggest thing is making sure that your shoulder is going in the intended direction of travel. Does that make sense? Have you ever felt or been in that position where you're like, I'm riding the trees, I'm riding moguls, I'm riding steep terrain, and it's so flipping hard to make the turn? It's most likely because you're not having your lead shoulder in the intended direction, okay? So that's gonna be like absolute number one. That's gonna be like one of the biggest thing that we can really do is do that, okay? Number two is we gotta be in a stacked position. Now, when it comes to being in our stacked position, there's a couple things that we gotta incorporate. So here's our, let's just make sure we can see it on the screen. Here's my beautiful drawing. Oh, that was sick. Okay, that's a snowboard. That is a beautiful snowboard. We have our little dude bindings. We have feet. We have torso, arms, and we got a head. That dude's not supposed to be dabbing. That did look like he was dabbing. Okay. Now we got this dude who's snowboarding. Now our goal is to have our shoulders, our hips, our knees, and I'm actually gonna do it in different colors so we can distinguish this a little bit better. Let's go here. This one sounds pretty good. Our shoulders, our hips, our knees, and our board are all parallel to terrain. So if I'm riding a flat ground terrain, it's like the most flattest catwalk thing that you've ever seen. You're like, dude, this thing is like so flat, holy cow. Well, you're theoretically going to be in a parallel position. As I stand here, I'm parallel, okay? To shoulders, hips, knees are parallel. If I were to be snowboarding with my lead shoulder up here, but the surface is flat, I am no longer parallel, which means that technically I'm probably in the back seat. If I'm have more weight on just like the back leg, have you ever done that where you're like riding POW or you're riding down the mountain and you have so much weight on one leg that leg gets tired? Well, that's the less ideal position. What I want to do is be parallel. Within that parallel, imagine, check this out. This is gonna be really cool. Check this out. So imagine the slope now changes and becomes, watch this, ready? 30 degrees. Well, technically, if the slope is this angle, and I now want to be parallel to that. Now, if it's uphill, I still want to be parallel to that terrain. And if I'm, of course, if I'm gonna just reset this real quick, and now if I'm flat, I want to be parallel. Does that make sense? Because if I'm parallel, it's gonna allow me to be in the most optimized body position possible. Now, there's gonna be times where, yes, I wanna be back seat. There's times I wanna be, and we'll talk about knee steering here in a second, but there's times I wanna be back seat, I wanna be front seat, and I wanna be even. There is times to do that. But you wanna make sure that you're in the optimized body position for the right time to do that. So, for example, if I'm hitting a jump and I were to catch air, I want to be parallel at the takeoff. Should we show you? Should we just like do this cuz like we can? So, if we have a jump, and again, we all know I'm this like incredible drawer. There's a jump. Okay, and we're going to just move this up so we all see it. Okay, there's our jump. Okay? So with our jump, I want to be parallel at the takeoff. And then when I'm in the midpoint or the apex, I want to be parallel. And then as I move over here to the landing, I want to be parallel again so that I can move my body in the most optimized body position. Okay? So as I do that, we have our snowboarder is parallel, bindings, legs, body, eyes, head, arms. If I'm in a parallel position, why this is important is now I have control and I have control with both legs. Okay, I have control. I also can now have more power or more balance because I can now be on both legs, okay? If you and I are vibing and hanging out and I get to stand here on both legs the whole time, I'm gonna be here for a month. If you had to stay on one leg the whole time, it's gonna be significantly harder. So through our snowboard stance, because you're using both legs at the same time, You're gonna have more power, so if I were to jump, I can jump with both feet. I'm gonna be better. What if I accidentally hit a little jump or a little roller or a little bump? Well, because I have both feet ready to handle it, I am now have a better chance of surviving. What if I'm just like really freaking tired and all my weight's in the back seat and my leg is burning and fatiguing? Well, because I have weight distributed evenly between both feet, I now have a better chance of riding and vibing. Then the last one is if I'm hitting a jump and let's say I have like 500 pounds of pressure landing like this. Well, imagine all that pressure on just your back leg versus having all that pressure distributed between both feet instead of 400 pounds on the back leg and only 100 in the front. What if you had 250 pounds in the front, 250 pounds in the back? All of a sudden, you're protecting your knees and you have a better chance of landing, surviving, and thriving because you've simply just been parallel, right? So, not to beat a dead horse, holy cow. Better performance, better balance, less likely to get hurt just because you're parallel. Sounds pretty incredible, right? Imagine you could just literally change one or two things in your snowboarding, and if you just did the parallel and the shoulder, your snowboarding is literally gonna change. And there's so much more that we can talk about, but if you just don't walk away with anything out of this entire thing, this is your golden nugget right here. Imagine you change one or two things in your snowboarding and you instantly feel different. This is that thing. Shoulder pointed where you wanna go, and number two is your, number two is having your body plus board, okay, be parallel. Imagine you just did that simple thing. Pretty incredible, right? Literally go practice this the next time you go snowboarding. I was a snowboard instructor. No, let me step back. I was a competitive snowboarder. Check this out. I was a competitive snowboarder. And every time I would do a 720, which means I spin around in the air twice on a 50-foot jump, massive jumps in the large line, right? 50, 60-foot jumps, I would land and dislocate my knee because I was not parallel. True. And I'll explain it even further here in a second. Imagine you are sponsored by Oakley, Solomon, Bonfire, you're getting free gear, you're traveling across the United States, going to competitions, and every time you land a trick, at 720, you dislocate your knee. Imagine being sponsored by those companies, and because you're fundamentally flawed, meaning you have bad body positions, that you break your back at the age of 17 in a half pipe and completely derail your Olympic hopes, your hopes of being a professional athlete because you had bad fundamentals. Imagine spending literally days in the hospital because you've had broken wrists, you've had concussions where you can't even remember people who come to the hospital and visit you. Those are like the real world situations that have happened to me, and why I'm so passionate about A, teaching, because I don't want it to happen to you, but B, this system is how do I prevent you from doing that, and how do I get you to be a better snowboarder as safe as possible. That's why I've created this system, because I've been in the hospital so many times. I've broken my back, I've broken my wrist, I've had concussions, I've had 2 hip surgeries. I'm absolutely beat up so that you don't have to be. So I don't want you to be beat up like me, okay? That's like because I had so many injuries because I was so fundamentally bad. Imagine you're driving your car and sometimes the wheel works, sometimes the brakes work, sometimes the gas work. Well, sometimes you get away with it. Other times you dislocate your knee. Other times you end up in the hospital. That's why this stuff is so critical, and that's why I appreciate you being here, because this literally, you implement these 2 things alone, you're literally gonna change your life, okay? But we're not done yet. We're literally not done yet. So that's gonna be like number 1, number 2, and my art is absolutely gorgeous. So we're gonna definitely not ruin this one, but number 1 is what? Do you remember? Number 1 is shoulders, okay? Pointed in the intention or the intended direction of travel. Nerdy, point your shoulder where you wanna go, okay? That's part of it. Number 2 is your body / board. That's a body / board, okay, is parallel to the slope, to whatever terrain you're on. If you're taking off, if you're in the air, you're landing, you want to be parallel to the slope, okay? Okay. Number 3 This is just pillar number 1, by the way. Number 3, how to be in a optimized body position to maximize absorption and balance. Now, this is like a pretty big game changer thing that was like super critical for me, that literally got me to go from literally dislocating my knee. Should we talk? I'm just gonna like briefly show you like what the flip happened, because this sucks. So like, dude bro homie, just trying to unstrap. So what ends up happening is when you're snowboarding and your lead shoulder's twisted open, your hip is twisted open, what ends up happening is a lot of times you get this weird twist. So if you notice that this leg is straight, this knee is actually folded in. So when your knees, I'm gonna show you. So when your knees, theoretically, your knee should be like, here's your leg, here's your kneecap, here's your leg, okay? Theoretically, your knees should track appropriately over each other. But what I kept doing is, here's my leg, here's my kneecap, and here's my leg. Because it was folding, not bending like this, rather bending like this, okay? So now look at this terrible angle. This is how I would dislocate my knee. That right there, that movement right there, because my leg is supposed to look like this. That's what the biomechanically optimized position of your knee should look like, that. But what I did, we're gonna make this red because, I mean, that totally makes sense, right? This is what I would do. Now, I would dislocate my knee here because my knee would track in an inappropriate way. My knee would just get absolutely wrecked. Knee's supposed to go like this. Mine would go like this. Boom, dislocated. Somehow didn't blow my knee, but dislocated my knee. I'd literally be tumbling on the ground. My knee's broke, like busted, and I have to pop my knee back in by myself. At the age of 17, sponsored by Oakley, sponsored by Solomon, Bonfire. Thinking that I'm like some kind of hot shot dude, has 900 spinning, winning competitions, kept crashing. So what I would do, instead of the 720, I would just go to a 900 because I could land it. But then that was like a blaring obvious effect of my snowboarding. So because I was in that bad biomechanical position, I would crash, I would fall, and I would get hurt. So I found a workaround, because I would just go to a bigger trick or a smaller trick and just avoid the trick in its own, because obviously I was terrible at snowboarding, had tricks, but wasn't fundamentally sound, okay? So now moving on back to, okay, well, Tommy, what's the next one? Well, as we go back over here to my beautiful artwork, is we wanna have a really good squat, there's a U in there somewhere, squat position, okay? Now, this is gonna be a little bit challenging for some, but the ultimate goal is when you have a really good squat position, you're gonna be able to do two, let's call it 3 incredible things. Sorry for switching too many screens. We're gonna go three major things. 3 major things. Number 1 is you're gonna be able to absorb the landings better if you were to hit jumps, okay? So now you have a better range, so that's an R, range of motion. Call it ROM, range of motion. That's just one if you have a good squat mechanic. Now imagine you're hitting jumps, bumps, trees, moguls, cliffs. Range of motion now increased if you have a good squat position. Okay, that sounds pretty cool. 2, you have more power. Because if you can get in a squat position and be able to drive out of that, or have enough range of motion that's optimal, you're gonna now have more power. And you're going to, like, this is gonna be number 3, if we can still see that here, is gonna be safer. Because if you have a really good squat position, guess what? You now know how to squat in a biomechanically optimized position that allows you to not get hurt. So imagine this, we're gonna do, and you can literally, if you're at home, if you're driving, I see you driving, don't do this if you're driving, because this is not gonna work, but when you get home, come back, when you go to the slopes, try this. Our goal is to have a really good squat position. Now, if I were to squat, ideally, I am not squatting like this. This is a bad example. Hips back, shoulders down. So most snowboarders, this is a true story, most snowboarders think they're getting low because their perception, meaning their eyes, get low, and they think they're low. The problem with this is if I bend over, I'm falling over. So imagine you hit a jump, a cliff, a mogul, and all of a sudden you land and you fall over. Not good. Ideally, what I want you to do is keep your spine upright, hips in a neutral position, and your shins go forward. So I'm gonna step back a little bit. Shins go forward, and as I squat, Yes, my spine is going to flex a little bit. That's just natural, but I'm not here. But I'm trying to essentially get my belly button to go as low as it can. This, not going low. This, going low. Does that make sense? So our squat position is trying to get our knees to go forward and our he stomped it actually. I wish you saw that. Look at the angle of that shin. His bindings are broken. So imagine keeping your shin upright and look at this angle of his ankle to his shin. This increased shin angle and the flexibility out of your ankle allows you to keep your spine upright. Now, if I'm squatting up and down like this dude, bro, I'm gonna be now squatting in a more biomechanically awesome position. I need some hotkeys for this transition. So if we had like just a straight line, and now we have like our head and we have our squat position and our ankles and everything. The more we can be balanced on this line, the better it is. But if we have our body and then we have like our hips are going back and then our knees are going this way, well, our belly button's like here. Our belly button's here, well, look how behind it is. That would actually force us backwards versus having ourselves to be more in a shins forward, shins, and then spine. You're going to be more in this vertical line right there. That is going to, even though you have some angle in your joints, you're going to be more in the center, which allows you to have a better balance position here. And then this is not as good if you kick those hips back. Does that make sense? So by being in a better optimized squat stance, you're going to increase power, you're going to increase performance, and you're going to reduce your injury because your shins are forward and your knees are tracking like this. Your knees are not folded in. Does that all make sense? So we got pretty nerdy there. What I would like to also do is check out some real world snowboarding, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if it's all theory, it needs to actually apply. So, good thing for me, I know this guy who snowboards. So we're gonna go back here and we're gonna watch this video. Now, I'm just gonna play it one time. I'm gonna briefly talk over it, but I'd like for you to identify, am I following those 3 principles within this video that I'm about to show you? So the first one is shoulder point in the lead direction. Number 2 is parallel to terrain. Number 3 is going to be squatting, mechanics, balance, that kind of thing. Does that all make sense? So I'm just gonna play it real quick. This is actually at Mount Hood, where I host a snowboard camp, and the people behind me are actually in my snowboard camp practicing some of my drills that we're talking about. And this is also just like this most incredible view, slushy snow, pretty incredible. So within this video, we are looking for parallel to terrain. We are looking for shoulder pointed in the intended direction and using some squat mechanics. So based on those 3 principles, let's just go back a little bit and let's identify a couple of them without absolutely beating the horse to death. We're gonna, get our nice little, we got our little drawing arrow because, we love them. Number 1, let's go. Shoulder pointed in the intended direction. In this position, I am at the middle of my turn. And where is this shoulder? Well, I would have to argue that this shoulder is pointed in this direction. Now, theoretically, if I press play, I should go in that direction. Oh, interesting. If you see here, my snowboard is pointed this direction. My lead shoulder is actually no longer pointed in that direction because my shoulder is pointing it in the intended direction. Where now I actually want to start to go on my heel side edge. Now let's see if this is true, or am I absolutely just cooking it? Oh, interesting. If we look at this just a little bit as we slow this down, one thing that I find to be very interesting here that's so fun, and like this kind of level of nerdy snowboarding is super cool. You're gonna see that my board's here, my lead shoulder's there. Watch as my lower body actually matches up to the angle of the shoulder. This shoulder essentially is staying at the same angle, and then my board starts to turn. Now they're starting to get lined. They're almost aligned. Now look at them. This thing is still slightly turning in the direction of going, but notice that the shoulder is super smooth, super controlled. As we play this in fast motion, I'm not throwing my shoulders to do all the work, but it is assisting. My arms are calm. I use that backhand as like a counterbalance, but I'm able to like literally get the turn, to burn, to move, to groove, all because I have a shoulder is going in the intended direction of travel. Pretty cool, right? After that, we have board parallel to terrain. So this is like the angle. Well, this one is a little bit off, and that's going to be like the next thing we'll talk about, but here in a second. Just notice that the angle of the board, the angle of the hips, and the angle of the shoulders are pretty darn good, right? Pretty darn good. They're all parallel to the terrain. As we go across the hill, notice that they're all still pretty parallel. Granted, this one's turning, still pretty parallel. Pretty parallel. And then the last ones, we did pillar 1, pillar 2, pillar 3. Look at this position. We talked about, like, it's kind of hard to see, so I'm going to try to draw it out real quick. Notice that this is my flat foot. Here's my shin bone, and here's my rest of my body. Okay? As you can see in this description, I was talking about earlier pressing my shins over the toes. But you can also see that my angle of the ankle, that we talked about the ankle flexibility, and the rest of my body's upright. This is going to give me a pretty good balanced position because my belly button is going to be stacked over the board. I'm in a nice position, but notice that my tailbone is not pressing out. It's not way back here. Because I'm in a really solid position, I can do some really cool things. There's this other video I wanted to show you. Oh, this is so fun. Cool. So we're going to go back to this one. Now, this is a really good example of like being more parallel to terrain. I want to use this also time to I want to take this time to also talk about one thing. There is a optimized body position for a certain time in a certain place. Some of that optimized position is going to be performance, some of it's efficiency, some of it's survival, right? There's different body positions that are going to be more ideal. This stacked stance is a beautiful reference of what you should be in most of the time. Sometimes you do not want to be in this stance. One time thinking right off the bat is powder riding. If I were to be parallel to terrain, all of a sudden I'm going to be nosediving the whole entire time, acting like a submarine, and then I'm going to be tomahawking. So that would be not really a good time. But I would argue about 80 to 90% of the time, if you're in this body position we're describing here, it's going to be super awesome. It's going to lead to a lot of success. If you're hitting a jump, you go off, you're in the air, you land in this body position, that whole sequence, amazing. Now, if I were to do a spin, obviously we're going to have to like move our shoulders around and do some stuff. There might be a little bit of like leniency there because I'm flipping and doing all sorts of stuff. Cool. Maybe not the best situation, but understand like parallel to terrain. I also talk about 60% of the weight over the lead foot. Well, I can still be having a little bit more weight, having a little bit more weight over that lead foot and be relatively parallel to terrain. What I don't want to see is you at the angle of the slope is at 35 degrees and your body and shoulder and hips are like this. Now, technically, if I were to put weight on the pencil, I would be back seat. So just know that there is like a bit of an asterisk in there that for the most part, this is incredible. And there are times to adapt your snowboarding. Let's go back into this snowboard video and let's see if we can identify some of that. I'm out of this ideal stance and when I'm in it. And let's see how we can now utilize us going into the slope to make this a little bit better. Okay. And we're gonna slow this down here in a hot second, there we go. So back seat, I'm actually spraying, and then there's like this next turn I wanna show you because it's like, honestly, it's pretty freaking cool. I wanna show you, oh, okay, this turn, I love it, it's so fun. When you see something that you just love, you just love it, okay. Okay, so right here, okay, this is so fun. Okay, couple things. I do not have enough weight on my lead foot. Why? Because I'm actually putting more pressure on the back foot so I can spray. I'm spraying because I want to slow down. But where's my lead shoulder? My lead shoulder is actually anticipating that next turn, which needs to be this direction. So the lead shoulder. Now, I'm anticipating where I want to go. Now, technically, I'm parallel to this terrain right here, right? We could argue that's accurate. As I go down, what? Look how minuscule this is. This is insane. Now where am I? Parallel, parallel, almost parallel. If I go a step back, it's almost parallel. But notice that I'm like almost parallel there. And I don't fully commit to the parallel because I still have to navigate this next portion of the turn. But notice that I was able to get my weight from this position and I leaned into it and trusted it. Notice that both my knees are bent and I'm not in the back seat, even though I just went down in transition. Now where is it now? Where am I? Parallel, 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 shoulder, anticipating where I'm going, which is going to be this direction. It was so subtle, but notice that I like slightly dive into that little bump. I'm anticipating being parallel, giving myself the best chance to balance, the best chance to control it. Because if you've ever been in a snake run like this is extremely technical. Probably 80% in the world cannot handle these turns. They'll get spit out, they'll crash, they'll fall, they're scared, it's intimidating. I like it because it's a freaking playground because I understand how to put my body in the right position to make this an enjoyable experience. And I think this might be, here's another little down, parallel, anticipating. I'm gonna get a nice little spray here and then dive back in, get that shoulder. Spraying here is just like fun and good for video, right? It just looks incredible in slow motion. But like right there, there's like a whole ton of useful information. So that's gonna be like the biggest thing. I'm just making sure that we got everything. Boom, 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 yeah. Cool. I absolutely love that. So going back over to the main screen here, there are those 3 pillars that I love for you to go practice the next time you go snowboarding. Now, at the end of the day, there is a lot more to this, right? There's a lot more to snowboarding, but what I'm trying to do is give you the single most important things to absolutely move the needle. And that is going to be shoulder pointing in the intended direction, parallel to terrain, and make sure you have good mechanics so that you're squatting in a biomechanically awesome position. That right there is going to be what you need to be focusing on the next time you go snowboarding. There's 3 major things. Now, I truly believe if you understand body positions, that's going to solve all your problems. I was riding with this national team instructor yesterday. Her name's Corey, super awesome, super talented, super skilled, and she was trying to work on this trick. And there was a couple of things that I was talking to her about, like my philosophies and some stuff. And she was trying to do a frontside 360 out of a rail. And she had a pretty okay frontside 360 out of a jump. So I was like, hey, here's a couple things that really work when it comes to freestyle. If you do it right, it should feel easy. If you do it wrong, you're doing something wrong. If it feels hard, you're doing something wrong, okay? So if you're going in the trees and you're like, this is hard, you're wrong body position. If you're trying to 360 out and it's not coming around, wrong body position. There's something that you're absolutely missing. And now if you can go back to these pillars, just even pillar number 1, there's 5 more pillars that I have. Pillar number 1 can literally change your snowboarding forever. This can help you increase performance, have way more fun, have way more balance, have way more control, and now you become way more unstoppable, whether you're hitting green, blues, black diamonds, moguls, trees, cliffs, park. Like, snowboarding is complicated, but also that simple. If you could just nail those 3 things down, your snowboarding will significantly improve like that. Now, obviously, it's going to be a little bit easier said than done, but there's a lot of value there, right? There's like a lot of things that are like absolutely incredible that is going to like literally impact your snowboarding if you can just simply do those three things. So for anybody that may have just joined or joined late, go back into the video because we literally just deep dived absolutely incredible into the 3 pillars of the Tommy Bennett snowboard system to make you as awesome as possible. And if you can do those things, absolute W. It's going to literally change your snowboarding forever. Okay? Now, let's just go back to this real quick. Now, we're not going to dive into this any further, but we're going to just talk about this briefly. Excuse me. There we go. So in the Tom Bennett snowboard system, we have, that's the stacked model. Stacked means you're stacked, strong, feeling amazing. You're literally stacked like a freaking pyramid. If you could be that snowboarder, you will literally change overnight. Imagine being able to go into moguls, go into trees, go into cliffs, and you're so freaking confident that it becomes fun. Now, I'm pretty opinionated at times, and I truly think people hate moguls because they're bad at them. Imagine you could go ride the moguls, slash, spray, jump, 180, 360, ride, switch. Would you have a different perspective of moguls? I'm gonna have to bet, yeah, if you could play around, turn it into a playground, I bet you would like moguls. But most snowboarders avoid moguls, or they're not fundamentally sound, therefore moguls are not fun. Then they're like, powder riding can not be fun if you're bad at it. It's like, oh man, I just get stuck the whole time, I get buried, I keep falling, getting snow up my jacket, and it's not fun. Imagine you can go ride POW and absolutely rip it, bust a 180, rip it again, keep going. You're at the bottom of the hill, you go back up, and all your friends are like slow, so you ditch them, or you have faster friends, or all your friends are like, I'm tired, I want to go home, but you're not. That's what the fundamentals of snowboarding can literally do, and that's what I'm trying to incorporate in this TB model. So we haven't even talked about how do we actually get our board to combine with our body to make really cool things. And that goes into how do we carve, and how do we technically ride moguls, and how do we skid, and how do we do freestyle, how do we do all these things by understanding that. And then how do we apply that knowledge into pillar number 3, which is going to be mastering our movement, vertical, rotation, pivoting, and then we add that to the mountain. Imagine being able to go ride some of the trees, switch with your friends, bombing down at your top speed, just safely. So that's what this whole like system is for, okay? And then obviously then like beyond this pillar, there's gonna be like the Shred Smart, which is going to be like a way to learn it. I have some kinesthetic cue and some stuff that's gonna allow you to learn it. Then there's like the self-evaluating as a coach and as a person who rides, I ride with friends who are good at snowboarding, but they're not coaches. So I end up having to do a lot of self-evaluation. Like, oh, that didn't feel right. Why? Oh, I just felt like this happened. Okay, why? What body position led to that? Was it the timing of something? Was it the wrong body position? Was it whatever? So there's that. And then we have like the bottom is like, how do we ultimately rise your snowboarding? So what I did want to go into, and if I have your permission, I wanted to show you the online snowboard course. And I have an absolute cool special offer for you for like literally for being on this live stream. Do I have permission to literally show you one of the coolest things that I've worked on? This, plus I got some like absolute special bonuses that are going to literally like change your snowboarding. So in this, I've literally put like my heart and soul in 25 years into this because my goal is to make you as awesome as possible. And now I don't want to like, there's like this thing where like, I kind of want to talk about why I created an online lesson and definitely like stick around because I got something cool, pretty special for you. But I started an online lesson because I have a couple like challenges that you have to resort. Let's say you want to progress your snowboarding as fast as possible. Well, guess what? Number one, you can go spend $1,600 to get a private lesson. Okay, that's a lot of money. That's already a negative. Number two, what if you get somebody who's not qualified and you still paid $1,600 and you work with somebody you can't trust, that don't know what they're doing, and that they literally just started snowboarding a year ago and they just started instructing last week. That's the reality. Or you get somebody awesome, but the problem with that is you only have 6 hours with that person, and how many things are you gonna realistically remember? 1, 2, maybe 3 golden nuggets by the end of the day, and then you probably forget what 2 of them are, so you really have 1 golden nugget for $1,600 in a 6-hour lesson. So I created this online lesson to help combat those real world things that most people don't know is actually a problem or struggle with, and I do because I've been an instructor for 12 years. I'm an inside everything with like inside the industry, and those are the challenges that I feel like I want to solve because I don't want to spend $1,600 and get somebody that might be okay. Or I get somebody who's incredible and I don't remember enough stuff. Okay, that's an option. Well, the other option is you could go learn on your own. Well, the problem with learning on your own is that you're going to crash, you're going to fall, you might develop bad habits. It's not really a fun, progressive time, right? You're crashing, getting wet, falling. It's not that sick, okay? So then I created an online lesson so that you can have a system that's a systematic, thoughtful way of progressing your snowboarding, breaking it down, tools to implement it, plus a bunch of drills that literally do at your house or on the hill to go learn as much as possible, okay? And And so then like the goal is to literally, oh, I don't know why that did. Oh, there we go. Sorry. So literally the goal is to progress that's what happened. My bad. So the goal is to literally create a lesson that is going to allow it to have a systematic way for you to learn. You can go to the mountain and watch this. The best thing about an online lesson is you literally get to watch it again and again and again and again and again. So you forget something? Cool, take notes. Oh, I forgot what he said. Go back. So I created an online lesson for that. Now within the online lesson, I did this thing where I wanted to create something special because you were here, okay? So as we go over here, I created these. I do have an online snowboard lesson, okay? Now this online snowboard lesson, I created 3 specific bonuses just for you because I want to see you become as awesome as possible. And I wanted to include this for you for free. So I'm going to switch screens over here. So bonus number 1, I want to make sure that we have all this stuff here, okay? So literally, bonus number 1 is I have let's move this over here a little bit. Can you still see that? Yes, you can. Bonus number 1 is I have a oh, I didn't mean to do that. Hold on. There we go. A 1 hour, stop. Oh, let's do this. There we go. Boom. There we go. Okay. So I created a 1 hour deep dive into overcoming fear. Okay, that was terrible. We're gonna do that again. Okay, I have a deep dive of overcoming fear. I literally spent an hour talking to you about how I broke my back, the exact systematic way that I learned how to overcome my snowboard injury. I literally broke my back, thought I was gonna be paralyzed, freaked me out for the next 3 years, almost quit snowboarding, completely derailed my career of trying to go to the Olympics, trying to be a professional athlete. I literally got to a point where I would hit a 5-foot jump, be scared, in tears, freak the flip out because I was so scared. So I'm gonna give you a free 1 hour deep dive training that is exclusive for the course that no one has access to. That deep dive is worth another like $300. Like people pay $300 just to have that thing alone, okay? That is 3. No, there, chicken nugget. That alone is worth $300, a deep dive, okay? But not only am I gonna give you the deep dive, I'm also gonna give you this. Now this is pretty cool and it's still in progress. I'm still making it awesome. But imagine that you had me in your ear, guiding you on how to implement these things. We're gonna work on how to be parallel. And it's gonna literally be this. I'm in your ears, no video needed. I'm literally in your ears saying, cool, we're gonna start on our heel side edge. Now we're gonna feel the weight of our weight on our heel side edge. We're gonna now press 60% of the weight over to the lead foot as if you're squishing a bug. And you can literally close your eyes as I'm doing this. Then we're gonna slightly turn our lead shoulder down the hill while pressing our shin against the front of the boot, allowing our board to move. Like I'm literally gonna walk you through a step by step breakdown in an audio guide. Okay? I think I charged like an extra like $250 for this. I charged like maybe like $150 to $200 extra. If you were to just buy my online course, this is going to be another $150. It's either $150 or $200 extra. I think it's that. So that's also going to be included for free. Okay? So I'm just gonna like kind of clean this up a little bit so that we can just see this. So not only are you gonna get the 1 hour free training of how to overcome fear, whether you've had back injuries, whether you've had crashes, whether you've had traumatic snowboard experiences, I'm gonna give you a full deep dive on an hour training of how to overcome fear. Next, I'm gonna give you a step-by-step audio guide on how to implement these pillars step by step. You have your headphones in while you're snowboarding, and I'm gonna guide you through everything as if I'm your coach talking to you in your ear. Pretty cool, right? But then I was thinking about like, that can't be it. That can't be everything. Like what happens if you're like, Tommy, I have this specific question, this specific problem, and I don't really know what to do? Well, right now, you're gonna go to YouTube. You're not gonna get your answer the way you need it. You're gonna get the course, but you're not gonna get the answer exactly what you need. And then you're gonna go on forums and Reddits and ask friends and then ask people, and then you're not gonna get the answer you want. So this last one, not only are you gonna get the 1 hour free training, not only are you gonna get the step-by-step guide, you're also gonna get a 30-minute call with me. Now, this is a Zoom call. So any questions that you have, this right here for 30 minutes, I usually charge $500. I have a lot of stuff. I got BENETEK, I got online courses, I got snowboard camps, I got online content, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. I usually post 3 to 5 times a day on like different platforms collective, right? So my time is extremely valuable. But imagine we could jump on a call and you show me a video. Imagine we jump on a Zoom call and you're like, hey, I have a question about this. I can sit here for 30 minutes on a Zoom call and answer your question. Sounds pretty sick, right? That I can literally like answer the questions that you have as a snowboarder. Well, because my goal is to create a system that is going to make you as awesome as possible. And I'm really passionate about putting this on the table. Now, here's the thing. I could have charged $100 for this. But the problem with charging $100 for this is people aren't going to take it serious. I want people who are invested, that are interested, that are literally going to make the investment to change their snowboarding and change their life. And some people are paying $1,600 for one lesson. What I'm going to do is give you access to this course. Now, normally this course, let me just move this up. Whoa, this course is usually a season pass, which means you're going to give me X amount of money for 1 year subscription, okay? So as I move this up over here, the course itself includes all this. Let's look at this. Let's look at what the course actually includes, okay? What this course includes is going to be this. Now we got the green pass, which is going to be perfect for beginners, easy to follow step-by-step, quick guides, top notebook coaching, blah, blah. So as I scroll up, sorry, let me move this over a little bit. Okay, what exactly is incorporated in the beginner pass? How to dress, everything you need. Stance breakdown, snowboards, equipment breakdown, stance, boards, safety rules, navigating the mountain, how to strap in, how to move, how to turn, how to ride a chairlift, and so much more. That's going to be what's included in the beginner. And I usually charge just for this pass, for literally this pass alone for 1 year. Okay, but you're not going to get that. Okay, hold on. But this one-time offer is also going to include this. We're going to be doing the blue pass, which is intermediate and advanced lesson. A step-by guide to develop the game-changing skills that you need. We're going to progress you while you ride solo, access how to do room riding, maximize balance, performance. We're also going to navigate the mountain. We're going to be able to totally dominate it. And we're going to learn advanced techniques and secrets to preventing falling. Plus, it's really our six pillar system, okay? Plus, I added a bunch of bonuses in here, which is terminology, how to ride fast and control, how to ride steeps, powders, trees in advance, okay? Then I'm also incorporating in this pass, like, this is gonna be a lifetime access, by the way. This is pretty incredible. Imagine getting a freestyle pass. Now, you'll literally get set up how to do freestyle stance, rules, dramatically increase your balance, how to jump, grabs, boxes, spins, advanced guides to jumps, rails, advanced tricks, and rail trick breakdown specific, okay? That's all included. So now as we go over here, I usually, 30-day money-back guarantee, BTW there. I also have this broken into this. It's gonna be a green pass. That's gonna be included, okay? If you're a beginner or not, you're getting that for free. Here's our advanced class. This alone is the 6-pillar system. That alone is incredible. That I usually sell for $300 a year. So in 2 years, that's a lot of money, right? That's just for this single pass, okay? So now we got the orange pass, which is our front freestyle. Then I have this right here, which is the black pass, which includes all passes. Now I usually charge $500 a year. So in 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's going to add up a lot of money, okay? Then I usually have the golden medallion right here, which is going to include that 30-minute call with me, plus all the other bonuses, right? So here's the bonuses. It's right here. So this is the bonuses. How to overcome fear in 1 hour. Here's our audio guide, and here's our coaching in Zoom, okay? Now, this is all going to be for one-time payment of $997, okay? Now, if you get this alone is worth $2,000, okay? Because it's including all the bonuses, all the time with me, every single thing that you have here, and the best part is as I update this course, you are gonna have unlimited access, lifetime. As long as this program is a program, you're gonna have access to this, and every time I upgrade it, guess what? You already have that. Plus, there's a community section for people who've already bought the course. There's also different guides on like how I like gear setups, and there's like all this other stuff that's like coming soon, on its way, that kind of stuff. So if you're interested in getting this course, there's literally a one-time payment, and you're gonna have an access to have a 30-minute Zoom call with me, worth over 500 bucks. So you're getting the bonus of a 1 hour, the extra bonus of the 1 hour overcoming fear. Plus you're gonna get the step-by-step audio guide, which no one's ever done before, literally no one. And then 30-minute bonus call, plus everything that you've already seen there. All the pillars, all the systems, everything else. So if you're interested in checking that out, check out snowboardingsecrets.com/live class, and don't share this link with anybody. Like, this is a special page. I even wrote it, special page, special offer below, don't share. Because normally, the normal website, if you were to find this, the normal website has the prices on it. There would normally be 500 bucks for this. This would normally be, I forget what, like 1700 bucks for this. And that does not include all the other stuff, okay? So if you're interested in checking this out, that is going to be the link down here, snowboardingsecrets.com/LIVE-class. And I'm probably only gonna limit this for like a week. I might have this up, I might not, I'm not totally sure, but that's gonna be a limited time 1 hour, or sorry, 30-minute call with me. So if you're interested in picking that up, definitely let me know. I'm gonna keep that up for a while, but if anybody has any questions, I'm gonna dive into the chat and say what's up to my dudes. If you got questions, comments, concerns, literally let me know, and I wanna hang out and chat with everybody that's still here. So if you have questions, let me know. Pop in the chat, let's go, let's vibe, let's hang out, and I'm gonna hang out here for a little bit longer. If you have any questions, let me know. I'm gonna leave this link just so that you can see it. That's gonna be there. Got bonuses, bonuses, bonuses. Check that out. So with going into the chat, if you have questions, comments, concerns, holler at your boy. Plus, I also have a video here that you can literally, should we listen to this? Some people like listening to like all this extra stuff. Should we listen to this? This is kind of fun. Where is that? Wouldn't it be nice to progress your snowboarding faster than ever and stay safe? Wouldn't it be nice if you could go snowboarding with no hesitation and no fear, and you could literally go ride moguls, trees, the park, or wherever you want confidently? It'd be nice, right? Well, of course. Now, my goal is to help you absolutely conquer the mountain, regardless if you are a beginner, intermediate, advanced snowboarder, whether you snowboard 5 days a year or 100, my goal is to make you as awesome as possible. Now, I have spent the last 28 years snowboarding, creating this system, working with thousands of people just to learn how to make people better at snowboarding. I've literally dedicated my whole life to this. But now I've wrapped it in a system, a lesson that allows you to maximize your progression. Now, I truly believe if you can understand the right body positions at the right time, you're literally going to solve so many problems. And by taking this lesson, when you take it, you're going to know exactly what body positions you should be in 85% of the time, making life easy. Imagine only having to change one thing, and then you solve so many of your problems. And if you just stay in this one body position 80% of the time, 85, you can literally be a better snowboarder. Wouldn't it be nice? That sounds pretty incredible, right? So just, you can watch the rest of that video. It's going to be on the .com, as we saw there. It's going to be on the .com right here. So boom, snowboardingsecrets.com/live class. I'm gonna probably only have this up for a week, and dang, I should have just put this to like the first like 5 people to get the course that is gonna get a free call, because I don't have like all that much time. But we're going to Jibril, what's up, dog? Let's go with a $10 donation. Dude, what a freaking legend. No words. All right, I might have to fight the boy. What else? We also got another donation from him as well. Thanks, Tommy. It's been amazing to feel the freedom of riding down the mountain and hitting side hits and not caring about color of the run or tees. Dude, let's go. $5 donation for the boy. I really appreciate that. Like, at the end of the day, if you can become a better snowboarder, I swear to you, you will have more fun. Better snowboarder, way more fun. Better snowboarder, more fun. Better snowboarder, less injuries. Better snowboarder, more fun. Sounds pretty incredible, right? So that's absolutely the goal. So super freaking hyped to hear that with the donations. Let's go. Appreciate that. Also, do we have a donation link? I think somewhere right down there. Click the money. Oh, dude, bro, I appreciate that. There is one in the description. Yep. Cool. What other questions we got in here, my dudes? We got Jose. What's up, dog? How we doing? Dean, what up, dog? Yo, freaking in here vibing. Let's see what else. I'm a beginner and tried to learn the toe side edge and fell and got whiplash. Any tips for getting over that fear? I mean, two big things, honestly, would be checking out my YouTube channel and understanding the body position, because being able to figure that out is going to be like the timing, the coordination, and that. And number two is like literally take a lesson. Whether you buy the lesson from me or take one on Hill, somebody's going to be able to guide you. That's going to be like a big thing. And number three is take your time and practice the movements that you need to perform on a snowboard without the snowboard. Because if you're sliding, slipping, and gliding everywhere and you're not sure how to actually maneuver the board and you're not sure what to do, that's going to make it even harder, because when you're slipping and sliding, it's scary. So I would practice that movement of like, okay, where's my balance? What do I need to do? Spread the peanut butter. Uncle Fatty knows what's up. We also got Steven. What's up, Steven? How we doing, boss? Yeah, don't be scared, right? Sessions, what up, dog? Guys, hit that like button. Session, I know I missed you, dude. Hopefully you watch this after the fact. I appreciate that. Rob, what up? 58, Parkinson's, live 11 miles from Mountain Park. Spend all day Sunday working on toe edge, following leaf. Committing to do backside turns to heel serves is killing me. I would check out, Rob, if you're still here, check out Tommy Bennett lesson 1, or type in Tommy Bennett here. Check this out. I'm gonna show you something that's like a pretty cool thing. I'm gonna show you this video that's literally gonna be like an absolute game changer for you. Please hold. We gotta find my YouTuber channel. We're also gonna swap it over to the other one. You go over here and you just type in like lesson, or like let's type in day 1. That literally will only search my YouTuber channel, and go to this one, Ultimate Guide to Your First Day Snowboarding, levels 1 through 3. That right there is going to be an absolute sick thing. Also, day 1, you could even type in day 2. That's also going to be a really good video. Progressing Ultimate Snowboard Lesson Day 2, S turns and chairlift level 4 and above. So check out those lessons. Those are going to be like absolute game changers for you. Being able to see this one is going to be huge. Oh yeah, I was supposed to write a book, but that's not happening. I mean, it is, but it's slow. What I'm actually gonna do is take the 6-pillar system of the snowboard lesson and put it into a book form. And I wanna put that book form so that people can like have a linguistic way to learn, because I think that'd be super cool. Plus, I'd love to be a best-selling author. I think that'd be really fun, especially in snowboarding, but it's probably not a competitive market, but we could try to do something there. That could be really fun. What other questions do we have here? What other questions do we have? Appreciate you not rocking. Oh, appreciate you not Rick rolling us, Jose. Dude, that's too good. I got Jose and my buddies absolutely roasting me over here. Yeah. Just waiting for snow. Dean, Felix, after this, I'm going to go wax my board. Got to use cold temps on the edge and warmer in the middle. It always scrapes off the edges first. 100%. More creative friction on the edges. Absolutely agree with that. Benjamin, what up, dog? Oh, it's more like Benjamin. What up, dog? I appreciate that. Zane, that's awesome. Those videos helped me too. Let's go, Zane Parker. Dude, that's freaking sick. I love to hear that. Yep, that, like I said, that's the absolute goal, is to make you as awesome as possible. And that's why I've like created the online course. That's why I do online lessons. That's why I do camps. That's why I do like so much of this stuff, is because I want you all to become a better snowboarder. And if you're going to take a lesson with me. Like, I have the most nerdy certifications that snowboarders can have. It's such a vibe. It's such a good time. And somebody that you trust and know, which I think is like a pretty big deal, right? So what are the questions we got? We're vibing today. Also, do you guys like this like breakdown, this nerdy stuff? I've been changing my live streams up a lot. It's usually like just live Q&A like this, but recently I've been doing like video reactions and like some other stuff. What do you guys think of that? Also, I got a really sick video. You guys want to, okay. You guys want to see something? Can I show you the video? I think this will work. I don't know about the audio though. shenanigans. Hold on. Let's see if this will actually work. It might work. Should we try it? Here, we're going to try something real quick. Please be patient. I'm going to show you the video that I've just edited, and you guys can see it and let me know what you think. Oh, what? Oh. Ah! Okay. Got to my MacBook here. I might have to, like, do this real quick. Oh! Okay, so now I got to go here. Oh, is that working? Uh-oh, I lost it. Hold on. Hold on. Oh, no. We might have lost it. This is so weird because I can't really see it on my screen. Okay, we're gonna try this. Hopefully we have audio. Let's test audio real quick. Okay. Please hold. I know that was repeated. Audio input. I want you guys to hear the audio because I have like a really sick video that y'all got to see. But I don't know if it's actually working. I don't know if it's actually working. Trying to find this. Please hold. So this is a video of like how to ride Switch. I'm really excited about it. Is that just bugging? Is that just bugging out? Oh, I can't even see this. Oh, there's my cursor. Hold on. There's my cursor. I don't even think this is working. I don't even know why. Never mind. Well, that was an absolute bust. I don't know why that didn't work. That is absolutely annoying. Well, I just wasted all of our times because there's a video that I just made about how to ride Switch. I kind of want you guys to see it real quick. It's kind of like a good one. Let's see if I can export it. How do I do this, Gummy? Okay, I think we can do it this way. I think I got an idea. Let's see. Okay, so we're gonna watch that here in outside. Halt second. I got the black lung pop. Hopefully I didn't blow out your freaking earlobes. We could hear the audio at the beginning. Using Burton step-ons, and I freaking love them. Zane, I've never... Oh, let me go look. Thanks, Jose. My boy Jose is like a freaking absolute sender. He's like an absolute champion out here. Okay. All right, love you guys. Appreciate you guys vibing and hanging out. Let's see. Yo, we also got... Okay, we got to go. Hold on. We got to hype up the boy real quick. Hold on. Wait. There we go. We're doing it one more time. One more time. Our layers are mixed up. We got this. Hold on. Oh, there we go. There we go. We are vibing. Okay, watch this. Ready? Boom. The boy with a $50 heavy freaking hitting donation. Let's go. This guy's a freaking legend, dude. Let's go. What a freaking legend. Oh, we're freaking... There we go. Sorry. If the audio is terrible, we got a boy in the house. Let's go, dude. I freaking appreciate that. Yeah, sorry about the weird noises. There's a noise. Open gate or something. Switch the audio. Dude, we switched it. We're vibing. Dude, we got a $50 donation from the boy. What's up? That's all he says. He just says, what's up? Dude, we're vibing. We're classing. We're nerding. We're geeking out. Having literally the sickest day ever. Dude, 100% just enjoying everything. I also like... Jeremy! What's up? Jeremy texted me the other day. He's like, I can't talk. I'm on the first chair. I'm like, this guy is a freaking legend. Because fun fact, I've never had first chair in my entire life of 25 years of snowboarding. Not once. not once. Attempting medium jumps this weekend. Any tips? 100% Jen shreds. 1, trust your speed. You're going to probably have to go a little faster than you're comfortable with. So before you go to the park, practice going straight, fast as you can with control and being on carving edges. And then number 2 is like, once you're taking off, stay strong. Because if you're scared back seat, you're going to go back seat. So staying strong. And then number 3, 4, 5 maybe is point your lead shoulder in the tended direction of you're going. So if you're trying to go up the jump and you want to land, your shoulder's pointed down the hill. Most people rotate their lead shoulder so they're like this, and then they're like, ah! So definitely make sure the shoulder's pointed in the right direction, because that's like a big deal. Jeremy, random fun story. One time my buddy Sean went to, where was he? He was at Breckenridge, and we joke about this all the time. That's why it's funny. Sean went up to like a patroller or like an information person. And they're like, hey, where would the best place to go to avoid the wind? Because it's like a windy day. And the person's like, oh yeah, you want to go to Imperial. We're like, what? He's like, oh yeah, Imperial, no wind at all. So they go up Imperial, obviously wind and all, right? So like, what? Yo, Zane, appreciate you hopping in, my dude. Really appreciate you hopping in. So then homies at Breck, like we crack jokes like, oh, let's go to Imperial because it's going to be no wind. But it's like, yeah, it's going to be a lot of wind. So I'm glad you had a good day at Imperial. It could be super sick. I actually had a bit of a tragic accident today on my snowboard. I was riding Keystone. I was just like mobbing around this tree and freaking slam into a tree. Front flip, crash. I'm okay. But dang it, am I bummed that I just core shotted my freaking snowboard. I'm so pissed. What is the best week of summer camp and why is it week 2? Wave. Jeremy. Jen. Week 2 is a vibe. I think week 2, what's cool about it is there's a lot of returners. The resort is well established and at a good, like, the system is like nice and ran. And you got incredible people. Jeremy, Jen, the squad, the people. So yeah, it's a good time. Week 2 is good. So this, so I have like 3 weeks of summer camp, and I used to do 4, but it was like really hard on me and the team, but 3 weeks has been a vibe. Week 2, let's go. Is the tree okay? Never touched the tree, hit the rock, and freaking cried for 4 to 6 months, unfortunately. But yeah, it was a vibe. It was an absolute vibe for sure. Oh, I wonder if I could have went. Can I do this window? Oh, interesting. Should we try this? Okay, we're gonna try it in a second. But 4th time attending. Yo, Jeremy's been there for like 4. Let's see. Jeremy's been there for Gen 3, going on 4. Yeah, going on 4. It's definitely the best week. Jose, you got to come to camp, bro. I got to do one of those summer camps. Yeah. Summer camp listed down below. Get the train, ride with me, geek out, talk about the 6 pillars, become amazing at snowboarding. It's definitely an absolute vibe. You definitely got to do it. I want to show you guys like the intro. I want to show you guys the intro to this video. But it's still exporting. We're almost there. I also got... Let's go. What else we got? Yo, thank you, Steve, for the $10 donation. I appreciate you. Let's go. Yeah, I did. Camp is the summer camp. All right, we're almost exported. Hold on. We're at like 80. Oh, we're at 96%. I keep spending Insta360 money on new gear instead. So I have no videos. It's a double-edged sword, you know? Double-edged sword, because you want to have sick videos, right? But you also want to have sick gear. And sometimes gear is just like so fun. I don't know if this is going to work. Did it work? Is it going to work? I'm hoping that this would actually... I was hoping this was actually going to play. Let's see if we can get this to play. Audio. Oh yeah, it's.
You want to learn how to write switch?
Oh, you son of a gun. It's like playing audio. It's like, I don't know where my cursor is. Where's my cursor, bro? There it is. Never mind. I thought this was gonna work. This is not working at all. This is not working at all. Well, that's. I'm gonna post this video. I think I'm gonna post this video tomorrow. I was hoping y'all could like see it, fall in love with it, see all the editing and all the work that I've done, but it is clearly not working. Move back to mute. I'm really excited about this edit because I put a lot of work into making this edit like really good and such. So, well, that's a rip. But, well, if we don't have any more questions. Oh, we could do this. Hold on. Should we do this? This might be like super ghetto. Should we try this? Okay. Let's try this. Hold on.
You want to learn how to ride switch the absolute fastest, easiest, and safest way possible? Well, if so, I'm going to break down exactly why you should learn switch and how to do it. So let's get started. Learning switch can be one of the most challenging / fun / freeing things that you can do. But first, we got to figure out, what is switch? Switch essentially is when you're riding in your non-dominant direction. So for me, I'm a regular footed rider with my left foot forward. If I were to go to my ride in a goofy stance, well, technically that's my non-dominant direction. Therefore, I would be now in my switch stance. And you may be asking, why should I learn how to ride switch? Well, there's 3 major things that I would say that's pretty convincing. 1, let's say that you're riding a pow day and you're over here having some of the sickest turns. Oh my gosh, and my leg gets really tired. Well, guess what? I can literally ride switch and still keep going, have a good time, or anytime I'm fatigued, let's say I'm just riding down the mountain and my leg gets tired. By going switch, I can now free up that leg and allow me just to shred, have more fun, make it to the bottom. Really super good, super important. Reason number 2 is all of a sudden you expand your ability to have creative freedom. What that means is now if I want to do 180s, I want to be able to spin around and do all sorts of fun little tricks, I now can nearly do almost anything because I can ride switch. That's number 2. Now, number 3 is you're looking for a challenge. Maybe your resort is super mellow. Maybe you're just nervous to go in the park. Whatever reason, there's a fun way to challenge yourself, and that is by riding switch.
Okay, so I am like super excited. There's like a bunch of like, I put a lot of, hold on, making sure, there we go. Put a lot of work into like editing that bad boy. Like there's a lot of work behind the scenes. I've been sharing it a bit more on Instagram because there's a lot of work behind the scenes and no one really sees, but I think it's fun. Got to show it off like this, right? So in this, there's like, I'm so confused on this whole mouse thing. Holy cow. I don't know what's going on here, but yeah, so that's an ad spot. But yeah, so that's that. So that is, I don't know why. This was like perfect earlier. Oh, was it the other way? I don't know. That better? There we go. Well, that's a vibe. So hopefully you guys like that. Definitely go back through like some of the old content on the YouTube channel or go back to the earlier part of this video because we definitely vibed out. And I would also say subscribe to the channel because we're going to be posting some videos, doing some stuff. So if you guys are interested in checking that out, also don't forget the link. I'm going to link this back underneath. It was like LIVE class. I'm going to put this on the description just so that like we all have it. Because if you guys are interested, this is like a secret. Oh, and Fatty, I am using OBS. Yeah, I'm using OBS. It's pretty decent. Yeah, I'm pretty much wiring that switch 100%, right? So if you're interested in that link, check out that link because that is going to be the link to the site Don't share that. Also, we are vibing. We got summer camp. We got all sorts of fun stuff. This Thursday, I really want to work on Switch stance, so this is perfect. Yeah, I think I'm going to post it probably tomorrow or Thursday. Probably tomorrow or Thursday. I got to do a little ad spot for BENETEK because I just want people to like become familiar with BENETEK. So I got to put it in there, like sponsored by BENETEK stuff. So I just got to do that, and then the video's edited and done. I just got to like do that. I'm also going to put this thing inside. Grab, let's see. In the description below, I'm going to have this special link. Special. Whoa, that was wrong. S. What? Typing is not my forte. Online. Special online course link. Don't share. Because this is for you. Because you're my dude. And I have a meeting that I got to go to, so I'm going to hop off, get ready for that meeting. Having a meeting about some BENETEK stuff, which I'm excited. We got new designs. Oh, do I want to show you guys my new designs? Maybe for the next one. Maybe for the next one. Maybe. It's like, on that note, my dudes, I'm going to end that there. Appreciate you. Love you all. Thanks for the donations. Check out that link. Special offer, limited time, and we shall talk soon. Let's go.